feels so effortless on the power. It's definitely got some excellent acceleration here. Hi there everyone, welcome to DM Car Reviews. Today we're driving a 2026 Hyundai Sonata N-Line. This has been a highly requested car, so here it is. I'm gonna make a little quick test drive. Let's fire it up. Let's go take a look outside this Sonata. Now I do really like the color. I love the wheels, looks aggressive. We also got that Tesla Model Y style fascia with one light bar. I think it looks really attractive for what it is. It's a nice looking car, definitely stands out from the competitors. So here we actually have soft touch materials. This is hard, this is soft, and this is actually good stuff, just like the Kia Stinger. Now in the back we got suede, and I believe this is leather, so that is nice. Sitting in the back, I'm 6'2", and you know, it actually feels pretty comfy. We got some vents in the back, which is a nice touch. And everywhere where I sit, the materials actually do feel pleasant, so I like that a lot about this car. We've got a huge sunroof as well. Let's take a look in the trunk. We have a pretty decently sized trunk. You can fit your suitcases here, whatever you gotta put. Now heading to the engine. This is the 2.5T with the DCT. Same thing that you'll find on the Elantra N. I'm not too sure on the reliability of these. I've heard mixed reviews, so I'm thinking, you know, with the warranty that comes with it, should be a pretty good power plant. It was also using the Kia Stinger 2.5. It was the GT line, and here you got the N engraved right into the seat. Good side bolstering, all the adjustments. Now the passenger adjustments are manual, FYI. I like this touchpad, and the comfort here is actually pretty good. The seats feel nice, although I feel like these seats haven't really changed much with these cars. So I'm guessing the shade and this are interconnected. Just trying to see if I can open it without triggering the full sunroof. Yeah, there we go. So here we have our navigation system. Same exact navigation that you would find in the 2016 Optima, 2017 Optima. Same touch, beep, beep, same touch sound. We got our glove box. This is hard plastic, of course. This is soft to touch. We got some nice carbon-like trim. We have heated seats in the front, dual zone climate. I do really appreciate that Hyundai is still keeping these physical. I think it's a good touch. We also have the outlets, the C charger. You can also change the type, which I think is pretty cool. A charge pad. This feels good. All the material is nice right here. We have our parking camera, which is just a backup camera. And you can look with different angles, look under the car. Now, as far as our other features, I like this style here. Hyundai Pay, I wonder what that's for. Manual, good design. You also got the Valley mode, sports, weather, phone projection. Here you can also change up your screen. Let's see what we can do, what we can put here. Now I'm not too sure I'm digging these gauges, like just kind of looks, I guess, different. I don't know if I personally like that. But let's see if we can change that up somehow. Mode, I would think it's not for this. Route set, let's just keep it at the compass. Okay. And then drive mode, we have normal, sport. We're gonna start with normal. Let's do a wiper test, horn test, and let's get going on this drive. We also have a Bose audio system, which I think is a great touch in a Sonata. Heck yes. Now the brake pedal, it is insanely touchy. Like a small touch shoves you right down the cabin. This is probably the most sensitive brake that I've seen in any car. It's like, up, up. Visibility is good. I feel like there's a lot of similarities with the Stinger in this car. At least with the smell, the blinker sound, the gas pedals, it all feels like a Stinger GT. And I did have a Stinger GT myself. It was a 2021, I bought it new. I really did enjoy that car while I had it. I never had really any concerns with it, although a lot of other people complain about rattles, paint peeling, a lot of problems. I never had them, but to be fair, I only had the car like what, around 6,000 miles, like 5,900 miles before I sold it. Now also the alignment here is a little bit off. I can tell in this specific car, maybe it just wasn't aligned properly at the factory or whatever the case was. But let's go put it to sport and give it some gas, see how she picks up. You know, really good power from this 2.5T. It's not too loud in the cabin. It's still fairly quiet, even when you're gunning it. So I do like that. And we also have some buttons here, which I appreciate. Track, setup, media. And then you can shut off the music or whatever. I also like this red contrast. I think it's a nice touch. So this powertrain is also very eager. It does like to spin out. So when you're driving, it like keeps you right in the meat of the power band. It wants you to go, which I do like. We also have good mirrors, good visibility. I like that the mirrors are big. Got a little bit of the bell rattle here. Not a big issue, but it's so pick-upy. It's like, wow. I do really like that. So effortless on the power. It's definitely got some excellent acceleration here, which I do like a lot. We're not going to do any launch control because it is cold outside. It is going to wheel spin, and it's a pretty new car. I don't want to strain it that much with all of those, you know, launches. Not that it would even matter much on a front-wheel drive car. But I will shut off the system just so nothing is robbing the power. We're gonna also check out the U-turn test and then continue with the drive.
30, 60, 30, 60, 30, 60, 1/4 mile.
Let's do some back road real quick. See how she does. Did you know handling is actually pretty good? I do like it. I think it's responsive, fairly sharp, to the point. I also noticed even with lower gas, it does not cut any power. There's no power loss, which I think is a great thing. Because unfortunately, a lot of cars, they will cut power when you're super low on the gas. This car, I don't see that happening. It's pushing really good times. And they're just so ready to go. Jeez. Like, you barely press it, and it's already flying. That's what I love about it. This is definitely by far way more fun to drive than an Altima or a Camry or anything in that segment. I think this is a much cooler driving experience. I also like these seats a lot. They're comfy, they're massive, and the layout. You got the ambient lighting, which is super nice at night. You know, this is a very, very solid car for the money. I gotta tell you that. This is extremely solid. Now, if I was shopping in this budget for this kind of mid-size family sedan, you know, this may very well be the car that I would go with, because just so far compared to all the competition, it's faster, it looks nicer, it drives better. It actually feels more of like a luxury sedan versus, you know, just a regular family mid-size car. Like, all the touches are nice, like the trim. It's just a great car to be in. And you know, when I get into its competitors, I don't really feel that. I just feel like, okay, it's another regular mid-size sedan. But this actually makes me feel like I'm inside a pretty plush vehicle, which again, I really like. Yeah, it can really dance. I love it. It's really got that playful character to it. And it just wants to spin the tires right up. It's so aggressive. And I like that. That's exactly how I like it. Aggressive. It's got that instant tip in. Exactly how it should be like. And also normal mode, it's so relaxed. Such a joy to drive. Yeah, this definitely has to be by far the fastest mid-size sedan, by far. I don't think I've ever done such trap speeds in any mid-size sedan in this segment whatsoever. And this car doesn't even provoke you to drive fast. Like, it's just very tamed, very chill. Yeah, this beats absolutely every mid-size sedan that I've ever timed. I had a VW Arteon 2019, and it had a stage 1 APR, some bolt-ons, and what I think my best trap speed was, what, 105.6, I think, like on a good cold day, exactly just like this. And I ran a 13.5, I think. But again, to keep in mind, that car was heavier. It was pushing about 350, 360 horsepower. No DSG, just ace and 8-speed. That's what held it back, at least on the standing quarter mile. But the roll time, 60 to 100, 40 to 80, I mean, this car is probably even quicker than the Arteon was, at least on par. And again, just to think that with 200, whatever, 90 horsepower that this has, it pushes such numbers. That is phenomenal. Imagine slapping a JB4 on this, you'll be flying. And even stock, I have no desire for any more power. This is already more than enough that you can imagine. And they also took away that lag off the line, so when you gun it, it kind of just goes. There's less lag than in some Audi cars nowadays. Like, how good is that? And there's no real wheel hop, minimal wheel spin, so it's a very easy car to drive. I gotta say, you know what? I loved it. I think overall, this is just such an unbeatable bargain for this price. For 35, 36K, that's before even discounts, incentives. I mean, try to beat that in this with this kind of performance, especially in drivability. I definitely give this car a solid A+. For the price, for the performance, for the comfort and the handling. I think really this car just has everything you need. The features, the buttons, I mean, the interior is good. It's high quality for this class. Nice, easy to view gauges. You know, at first I wasn't a fan of them, but you know, driving with them, they're not bad. They're actually pretty easy to use, easy to see. But this summarizes the test drive for today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and till next time.